What's good, peeps? Good morning. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, everyone is doing as well as me because I am doing very, very well right now. Because finally, after 30 years, my team has won the league. I'm not going to brag too much about it on this channel, but just know that I will brag at some point. I will brag at some point that my team has won the league. I don't think it's sunk in yet, if I'm honest with you. Maybe just because of what's going on with COVID-19 and no fans being in the stadium, right? So it doesn't feel like we've had that proper celebration, but it will come. And you know it's going to be a big one. I hope that Liverpool, I don't think they will under Klopp, but I hope that we don't rest on our laurels and we still invest, and we know in order to secure our legacy as being a great Premier League side, because we're not a great Premier League side yet, we're not. I know some people will say we're not. We've got to win it 2 or 3 more times. We've just got to. If you want to compare us to the Mourinho Chelsea sides and City teams, right, and United team, we've got to win it at least 2 more times. And I think this crop of players can do that. I think they're all the perfect age. They're all so hungry. And there aren't many weaknesses in that team. There really aren't. I know people talk about sort of our midfield lacking. Well, look, there's more than one way to skin a cat. We might not have a midfield of players that can do step overs and all that, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. That midfield is a fucking engine room. That's what it is. But I do think we need to, I think we need another striker. I think the drop-off when Mane or Salah is out is far too much. I mean, I don't think Minamino is going to be that guy. I like Origi, but again, he's not that guy. So it was disappointing to see Chelsea get Timo Werner, but I am super confident because we have the best manager in the world. Fact, we do. I think United will be strong next season. I don't think they're keeping Pogba. I think United fans are excited about the Fernandes-Pogba link-up. Ain't happening. Pogba's gone. Pogba's gone. Trust me on that one. City will go big. We know that. If Pogba does go, though, I do think Jack Grealish is going to come in. Different type of player, but a good player nonetheless. We know what Chelsea are going to do. They've already done it. I just feel like they will be inconsistent. So they, at times, look, we saw it. They'll beat City. They could beat Liverpool. They really could. They could beat everyone, but I think they'll be inconsistent. Arsenal, we won't even talk about. We won't even talk about. So yeah, up the Reds. Well done, Liverpool. Toasting to Liverpool with a coffee. It was a lot stronger than this on Thursday and Friday. All right, let's talk some boxing. Why shan't we? All right, what we got here? GVOZDYK speaks on retirement. Bertabiev loss. Stevenson win. Teddy Atlas. If you have the time, and I'm sure you guys can spare 5 minutes, go and read this article. It's very, very good. Bertabiev obviously lost his last fight. Sorry, GVOZDYK lost his last fight to Bertabiev. Stopped in the 10th, I think, right? He has spoken about coming back of recent, but now he's called it quits. And I think it's a good decision. I think boxing at the best of time is ridiculously hard, right? But if you've got 1 foot out already, then it's just not for you. And I think it's a wise decision. He's relatively young. 33 is young, right? In life, might not be young in boxing terms, but in life, it's very, very young. He's made some decent money in his last couple of fights. Would have made, 7 figures against Bertabiev. Decent money against Stevenson. So look, not everyone cares about, well, look, that's wrong. I think boxers do care about making a ton of money, but I think some people are just okay in life. Does that make any sense? Like, some people are just cool. Not everyone wants a gold fucking Rolex or Rolls Royce Phantom outside, Not everyone. It's true. Not everyone wants it. And I think GVOZDYK could chase a couple of big more paydays, but he's okay. He's all right. What I did like in that article is when he spoke about, that you get fighters say things like, I want everyone, I want the toughest challenge. He was like, basically, that's not true. Like, when fighters say that, they know that that person that they're calling out, the toughest challenge, is their nightmare. And he said that you actually have nightmares about that person. And I like that. I like boxers being open like that because, again, boxers always say that, don't they? But it must be frightening, regardless of how good you think you are as a boxer, knowing that if you are challenging the next guy up or the next guy down, you know it's going to be a damaging fight. Imagine that, knowing that you're going to work and it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. Yeah, that must be a strange feeling. But yeah, GVOZDYK has retired. He said a few more things in that article, which again, I do find interesting. One of those was that, look, he's 33 now. With what's going on with COVID-19, he probably isn't going to box until next year. 34, you're a lot older, trying to make weight, get down to that 175 limit. Just what's the point? And I think, again, great decision, good career, amateur career as well. No shame in it. No shame in it at all. And I do wonder if what happened with Adonis Stevenson and how tough that Bertabia fight was kind of made him fast track that decision. It must be weird knowing that you've been in there against Stevenson and seeing what happened to Stevenson and knowing that can happen to you. And again, he might have watched that Bertabia fight back and thought, you know what? Nah, not anymore. So yeah, I wish him good luck in whatever he wants to do. All right, what we got here? Eddie Hearn reacts to Fury. White destroys Wilder. Joshua KOs Wilder with ease. He's going to say that, obviously, isn't he? I don't know about Dillian White destroying Wilder. And Joshua KOs Wilder with ease. It's almost like everyone now is just dismissing Wilder. I'm not Wilder's biggest fan. I'm not a fan of his boxing ability, but Wilder can put you to sleep just like that. That's fact. We've seen it. It's not a joke. He can put you to sleep. So all of a sudden, White destroys Wilder. I'm not having that. I'm not having that at all, to be honest with you. So look, let's hope we can get these fights right. I don't know if we'll ever get to see Wilder versus White or Joshua. I just don't see it happening. So it's just talk, isn't it? Frank Warren, this is talk. I'd back Tyson Fury to beat Lennox Lewis. Okay. Who knows? Again, like, who knows? I could come on now and say, oh, absolute crap. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. Stylistically, it's an interesting fight. I just think that Lennox Lewis has everything. I think he's got everything. He's got a great jab, good chin. When he was on his A game, when he got a bit bigger towards the end, but when he was a bit lighter, I thought he had a good gas tank, could move a bit as well, light on his toes, so light on his feet. Same thing, right? Light on his toes. Yeah. Look, Lennox Lewis for me is a top, was he top 6, top 7 heavyweight of all time? Do you know what I mean? Like, to say Tyson Fury can beat that, it's just, let's calm down, man. Calm down. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's scary. It's like, I like Fury. I do. But we need to see, like, I need to see a body of work. Like, we need to stop this comparison with a body of work, please. Like, he's not even had a defense of his titles. Like, a body of work. Like, let's, longevity should count for something. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, if you're, I could really, like, I give him huge credit for the Klitschko one. Huge, right? The Wilder one, I give him credit for as well. Not as much, because I don't think Wilder's I don't think he's that good. I think Klitschko was. So I give him huge credit. But we need to see more. Like, more before we start making these comparisons. Like, you know, I saw an Ali one the other day. Like, Tyson Fury would beat Ali. I'm like, how dare you? How bloody dare you? Do you know what I mean? Like, in any sport, right? I'm not, like, any sport. Like, you think of football. Like, if someone scores 30 goals in a season and it's 30 great goals, right? And they're doing everything, do 7 seasons. All right, you've done 1 season, fair enough. Don't compare yourself to Ronaldo and Messi. Do 7. Look at Ronaldo and Messi. We're talking 12 seasons of domination, right? So you can't do 1 or 2. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan, Mo Salah. Like, Mo Salah in his first season, and look, Mo Salah, to be fair, has done it 3 seasons now, but in his first season, Mo Salah literally went crazy. And people were starting to make the Messi comparison. I'm like, what? Stop yourself. Stop yourself now. 7 seasons, please. And that's the same thing with Tyson Fury. Like, can we just stop this? Like, fucking hell. 2 wins. 2. Oh my God, I'm mad. Beat Lennox Lewis. Mikey Garcia. I can complicate things for Pacquiao like Marquez did. Dude, Pacquiao's 41, dude. Like, you sound like Marquez did. That was my, like, they were, they're age mates. You know what I mean? Marquez is a bit older, but they're the same era. You're just trying to pick on an old Pacquiao. Like, I actually like the fight from a stylistic standpoint. I think it's a good fight, by the way. Like, all the fights that Pacquiao could have, this is the one I like the most. So we're talking Pacquiao Khan, Pacquiao Porter, Pacquiao Spence. Pacquiao, I think this is the one that I like the most. And this one's fair because Mike is a small guy as well. I do like that fight. And I do wonder if that is going to be the fight that PACMAN takes. Like, I do wonder. Do I think Mikey deserves it? I don't know. Mikey's last 3 or 4 fights, to be fair, have been Broner, Vargas, and Spence. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think there was one in between. It's not a bad little run. Embarrassed Broner. Lost nearly every round with Spence, but stood in there and hung in there, with a massive Spence, and beat Vargas. Solid win. So I don't know. We shall see. Sergio Martinez targets August 22nd in Torrelavega for return. Next, what else we got here? Dillian Whyte to Bob Arum. The gypsy coward must fight me or vacate. This is just not going to stop, is it? It's just constant. This white fury. It's just constant. It's almost like they're almost building something because they've said a lot of stern words to each other. And I love that fight now. I have to admit, I do love it. I do, wouldn't mind seeing it. I think Tyson Fury will win, but Dillian Whyte will come and scrap, That's one thing. I think, as much as I don't think Dillian Whyte's got the best boxing ability, and I think we can all agree on that, although his boxing has improved tenfold in the last few years, he is going to bring it. You're right? You know that. And I think that makes for a good fight. It makes for a good fight. He's not going to stand off. He's not going to try and jab and do it. He's just going to fire with fire. And I like it. And I really, really hope he gets his mandatory shot. I really hope that Fury doesn't vacate. Because it isn't just about getting a vacated belt. It's everything, right? It's about beating the champion and taking that test. Who wants a vacated belt? It's crap. No one wants that. I mean, they'll take it, but no one wants it. Joshua PULEV, targeted for November. Yeah, I read this, that Eddie Hearn thinks that by November, we could see small crowds come back. I think they're even targeting the O2 Arena, which is interesting. Don't know, what is the O2 Arena, 20,000? Could they get 5,000 in there? Sort of segregate the seats a little bit? I don't know. Even 5,000, you're still going to make some money. It's not going to be a lot in terms of gate receipts, but it's still something. It's better than nothing. I did read, and it's probably going to be on here, but I did read as well that Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce has been rescheduled for the O2 Arena in October. So maybe these guys know something that we don't know yet. So yeah, that's interesting. So I'm guessing small crowds will be allowed around that time. But who knows, right? Let's hope we don't get a second wave. Everyone keeps talking about this second wave. I don't know shit about this coronavirus, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I'm trying to talk to you guys without my conspiracy hat on, but everyone's talking about a second wave. I know there's been more cases in America. I think more cases have come out in China, so who knows? Who knows? And the way people have been just out, right? It's almost like you walk on the streets right now and it doesn't even seem like there is any coronavirus or COVID-19. It just seems like it's a normal day. So I don't know. If there is going to be a second wave, then boy, all these things could be scrapped. All right, so the next story here is Matchroom Fight Camp unveiled in Brentwood. So obviously this is Eddie Hearn's events that are going to happen in August. 4 weeks, 4 events. By the way, talking of events, how many events are Top Rank putting on? It feels like Top Rank are putting on events every 3 or 4 days. Credit to Bob Arum. Look, I do think the events are getting better as well. The fights are getting more competitive. I think they started out crap. I have to be honest with you. Now, think he's learned his lesson and they're getting better. And look, this is the thing with boxing. I say like the fights are crap. You just roll the dice, right? Who knows? I mean, you could put together two names that you think it's going to be, oh, this is definitely going to be the fight of the night, and it's just a dud. Like, you just don't know. No one can predict fight of the year. It just happens. Just happens. You can put two guys together where you think this is the style for, and it just doesn't turn into that. But yeah, Matchroom have unveiled, their fight cards. The final one will be Povetkin, Dillian White, pay-per-view. What do you guys make of that? It was to be expected, I guess. Who's on that card? So we've got Clay Congo, great fight, by the way, great fight. Kuzman Bakoli, Katie Taylor versus question mark. No one knows. We were hearing it Serrano, then it was off. Now we're hearing Serrano's back again, but it wasn't announced, so I'm guessing they're having problems financially with that one. And then obviously the main event, Dillian White Povetkin. Not bad. It's not bad. Bakoli Kuzman's a good fight, right? They have a mutual opponent in Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter went all the way with Kuzman. That's Kuzman's only loss. And Bakoli obviously got stopped by Michael Hunter. Bakoli's an interesting prospect. I don't know where he is. But this is a big win. He wins this one, he probably puts himself into a position where you could say he's a top 25 guy. Top 25, top 30, maybe. What do you guys think of the actual cards themselves? All four. I don't know if you guys have had a look at them. I think the cards are decent. I may be a bit greedy. I wanted a bit more. I wanted a couple of big names on there. And I think this is the problem that Eddie's having, right? Because obviously, look, there are no gate receipts. It must be difficult to pay the guys, almost like your second tier guys. So you got your elite guys, right? The pay-per-view guys, where if you put a pay-per-view event on, no one's going to complain. But you then got the guys that are not necessarily pay-per-view fighters. And then you got these guys on these cards, like the Sam Eggingtons. So you got guys like Kell Brook, good example, right? You wouldn't say he's a pay-per-view fighter anymore. Liam Smith, Callum Smith, Josh Warrington, who we know sells a bucket loads of tickets, but maybe not a pay-per-view fighter. Billy Joe Saunders. I was hoping that we might get to see one of those guys. Even your a Lawrence Okoli, a Boatsi. You know what I mean? There's those. None of those guys are on. Again, I understand why Eddie Hearn will have to pay those guys a lot. I'm guessing all those guys are on very good money and they're not pay-per-view. So you would normally pay those guys through ticket revenue and there are no ticket sales. So it's going to be difficult. So look, I'm just happy that that boxing's back, but it would have been nice to see one of the big boys on the card. Anything else to talk about? Oh, here we go. Keith Thurman, there might be a lesser step next than a rematch with Porter. How many effing times has Keith Thurman said that in the last few years? It's ridiculous. Why does there need to be, like, why do you need a warm-up fight than Porter? I don't get it. I really don't get it with Keith. Again, he's almost like GVOZDYK at the top. He's clearly 1 foot out. Just get out. Just get out. It's almost like he says to himself, because he knows he can make millions right now, it's almost like he just is there because of that, because he clearly isn't interested. Like, no, I don't know. Maybe I'm too harsh on him because, again, he did have a fight of the year with Porter. He did beat Danny Garcia. Good fight against PACMAN. I just don't like the idea of a lesser step. Dude, anyway, next. Let me stop. Khan denies claims. I was never dropped, put to sleep by PACMAN. I think this is a story that was recently released saying that he was stopped by PACMAN when they were sparring. Obviously, they used to be sparring partners sometimes, or maybe just have rounds against each other, both in the gym with Freddie Roach at the time. I believe whoever wrote the story that Khan was dropped. I mean, you're talking back. That was the PACMAN, by the way. That was PACMAN, obviously bigger gloves, but that was the PACMAN that put Cotto to sleep, put Hatton to sleep, put everyone to sleep. You're telling me he wouldn't have dropped Khan, Chinny Khan? Even though that was the best Khan in and around that time, if they were sparring There is no way on this earth I don't believe that PACMAN dropped him. Maybe not put him to sleep, but definitely dropped Amir Khan. Come on, behave. Who does Khan think we're going to believe here? Him over whoever told the story. I am 1,000,000,000% in belief that Amir Khan was put to sleep, I'd say multiple times, by PACMAN in sparring. Multiple, because again, that was the PACQUIAO. Yeah. What we got here? Sad news about Roberto Duran, hospitalized. He tested positive for COVID-19. We do wish him a speedy recovery. All right. Do we have anything else? I don't think so. I mean, as always, look, I can't lie, there are 100 stories here, but I don't think you guys would be interested in these stories, if I'm honest with you. I think that's it, peeps. Short and sweet. Peace.